Okay, I think we are live. Hello, everyone. Can you see me? Can you hear me? I see Danita, Sarah, Lynn, Robin, Mac. Okay, familiar name. You were at the live last time. Jennifer B. Uh, all right. Let me know, friends. Are you hearing me? Are you seeing me? Okay, awesome. Good to know, friends. So on the screen, go ahead and drop your city and one word or your state and one word to describe the weather, what it's doing for you right now. So for me here in Maryland, like the weather is kind of crazy. It's starting to get cold here, but it doesn't want to like quite commit just yet. Oh, excellent. I'm seeing this. Perfect timing. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Okay. Wow. New York City, Kentucky. All right. Awesome. I'm going to be trying out some interactions throughout this video. And so, yeah, I've got lots of these kind of things that are going to be coming up. But I do want to go ahead and have an on time start because y'all know once I start talking, like I just go and go. So, tonight we are talking about winter wellness, but it's not going to be the way that commercials show it. And we're going to do it my favorite way, which is from the kitchen, not from the medicine aisle. So when you walk down that medicine aisle, you're actually not shopping like for a particular brand. You're shopping for chemistry, right? You're looking for molecules that calm inflammation, coat a sore throat, open your sinuses, help you rest, and loosen up the gunk in your chest. So, with that being shared, I want to go ahead and we're Griffin, Georgia. All right, we have Illinois in the house. Where else? Pennsylvania, my neighbor. England. All right, Arkansas. Okay, all right. Let's see here. It is all over the place. I love this. Columbia, South Carolina. Cloudy day. All right, I see some hellos. Oh, a rose. I love that. Awesome, everyone. Okay, so let's go ahead and just do a check in here. It is Friday night. So I just wanted to see where your energy level is kind of resting. So 1 to 4. Are you like, I'm basically a house plant? So you'll just type a 1 in the chat. 2, like you're saying, you know what? I can maybe fold the laundry if like the clothes are warm from the dryer. Are you a number 3? Like, honey, I just mopped the floor actually. Or number 4, I could organize my entire pantry right now. So just go ahead and type that in the chat. I'm interested to see like, kind of like where your energy is. The week started off kind of crazy. So here in Maryland, this past weekend, y'all, was supposed to be the Chesapeake Bay Bridge run. And I was looking forward to doing that. My brother was in town, my dad was in town, and we were going to do that. Y'all, they canceled it. So the week started off kind of like, a little bit disappointing with that. But you know what? It was a great work week. It was. Okay. Oh my goodness. You guys are like me. You're like, I'm basically a house plant. I love it. Somebody out there though was like, hey, Friday night isn't slowing me down. I love it. All right. Love it. Love it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and continue. And this just helps me to kind of frame the conversation for tonight. So what winter struggle do you deal with the most? Is it the sore throat, the aches and pains? Are you always cold? Is it congestion? And you can type a 1, 2, 3, or 4. And that will kind of let me see what the kind of most common issues that we're dealing with as we enter late fall and early winter here. Oh my goodness. All right. So while you all are going ahead and doing that, I'm going to go ahead and continue just to kind of share that the reason why I wanted to bring this live to you tonight is that, again, the wild part about things is that a lot of the compounds that you're looking for in the medicine aisle are quietly living in the foods that we're already cooking with. Things like garlic, onion, ginger, turmeric, honey, citrus, herbs, vinegar, right? Our great grandparents were over there healing their colds with soups and steams and syrups long before there was a nighttime severe cherry blast flavor at the store. So a quick note before we play like kitchen apothecary together. I'm not your doctor. I am not an herbalist. I am a home cook. I'm a frugal girly, and I'm a woman who really likes to know what's in her food. So tonight isn't about a quick and fast cure, right? Nothing should replace your prescriptions or medical advice that you're seeking, but these are time-tested comforts and supports. So I want you to think about these as your backup singers, so to speak. They just make the whole song better. They're not pretending to be the whole show, although for some, you will find it to be things that you can replace that you may currently be buying. Oh, wow, this is interesting. So a lot of folks here, about half, sore throat, and then the other half here are dealing with aches and pains and congestion. Yeah, for sure. Okay, all right. So far, we don't have always cold. I know sometimes with circulation issues, that's one for folks. All right, so another check-in. This just helps me to kind of calibrate our conversation for tonight. What remedy intrigues you the most? So these are going to be the 7 remedies that we're going to quickly make tonight. Yeah, 7 in about an hour, because they are just that quick, which is why I want to show you that you can absolutely do them. So tonight we are making honey garlic, onion syrup, a sage gargle, golden milk. I have a twist for the golden milk that you're going to like. Fire cider and Parsnip Kvass. I know, if you haven't heard of it, just wait till you see it. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and type that in the YouTube chat. But I think that right now this is important now more than ever, because have you looked at the prices lately in the medicine aisle? I mean, it is just crazy, right? So those tiny little wellness shots, they are $4 or $5 a pop, right? Elderberry syrup, $18 for a bottle. Cold medicines, 7, 8, 9, almost $10, even for the generic brands. And even when you purchase those, you're getting things like dyes, preservatives, artificial sweeteners, and then a paragraph of different side effects, right? So you're paying for packaging and convenience, right? Not magic, and oftentimes suppressing those symptoms rather than getting to root cause. So what we're doing tonight is taking money right back out of that aisle and putting it into your grocery budget. And here's what I love about these recipes. You already know every single ingredient that I'm going to talk about tonight. And a lot of you probably already have these in your kitchen. You're not locking them away in a sick day bin. These are foods that you're actually going to cook with, and they play double duty, right? Like medicine when you need it, but then also flavor when you don't. And I also want to highlight that because you really have this versatility in your kitchen. Okay, my eyes are a little bit diverted because I have my camera here, and then I also have my laptop that is here. And so, the golden milk, 100% of people? No way. Okay, you're gonna love how I do the golden milk then, because it's super simple. And it's okay, I'm not gonna give too much away. Don't get ahead of yourself, Cass. Okay, good to know. Good to know. All right, I already shared this slide. That's here. Okay, now here's where we're just sharing just some emojis in general in terms of, hey, when it comes to winter wellness, here's kind of like how I'm feeling about trying these recipes tonight. So go ahead, you can share an emoji that's there in the chat. That'd be super fun. Again, I wanted to, it looks like a lot of you are already kind of gravitating very quickly to the format that's here. So we're gonna keep these slides going. So to keep us grounded and to make things memorable, I have grouped everything kind of like, I was thinking about this like the medicine aisle, but it's going to be the, do you see this little like, cha-cha? I love that one. This is where just like, I'm ready for this. Okay. Sorry. Let me like stick to the outline for tonight. I love that. I have not seen that emoji in a very long time. Okay. So I'm imagining that tonight that we are walking down the medicine aisle. And so tonight we are covering things like sore throat support, cough and chest crud, inflammation and aches. And even sometimes like what I will get, since I work in a school, is, I might be coming down with something, right? So things that you can take, that kind of feeling, digestive drama or post-holiday reset, and then cold body comfort. So this is our bonus. And it's so good because I have a little thing that you can do for that. So from the first minute, you can already be thinking, yep, like that's the one that my household is always going to need. Okay, I just also want to say that I just want you to know that I actually use all of these. If you are not new to the channel, these are all recipes that I have shared for years now. I share them with my family and my neighborhood. Yeah, my neighborhood. So my neighbors will not make these, but when they're really down, I'll get a text from their spouse saying, Cassandra, do you have some of that stuff? Or like, here's the other thing too. So my husband is my unofficial like test subject. And he is not into like naturally like crunchy remedies by default, right? Like I am. But let that man get the sniffle. And he's like, babe, do we have some of that fire cider? Can you pour me some? Which I always keep year round. And I'm like, look at you, voluntarily requesting fermented aromatics like a grown adult. I love it because it works, right? So like, that's how I know that these things work. So if the husband seal of approval means anything to you, like, these pass. So before we jump in, I do want to shout out someone really special who is behind the scenes tonight. It's Marissa. Y'all have seen her here before, and you know that I get very hands-on when I teach. I'm chopping, I'm stirring, I'm pouring, I'm trying not to like spill things on myself, and keeping up with the chat at the same time can sometimes just be a little like, so Marissa is actually here. She is at the dining room table right now. She may walk over just to like say hey. So she's running things in the back end tonight. She's pulling your comments and putting them on the screen. She's keeping things running smoothly, and she's making sure that this feels like a cozy night in the kitchen rather than a chaotic sprint. So Marissa was actually a teacher that I mentored at my school last year. She's no longer there, but we keep in touch because she's becoming a farm girl too, y'all. And she has fallen head over heels in love with this community. So please just drop her a thank you, Marissa, in the chat, because she truly makes it possible for me to show up fully and be able to like do this demo. I also do want to share that recipe cards will be popping up on the screen that you can screenshot. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and start with fermented honey garlic. And I just have things set up in bins over here. And so these are the ingredients for fermented honey. Now, this one is super simple, takes just minutes to make, right? Your two main characters for this recipe are going to be garlic and, surprise, surprise, honey. Now, you absolutely can use whatever kind of garlic that you prefer. And so, actually, fermented, whatever kind of honey that you prefer. But I am actually using, some of y'all may recognize this brand. So this is garlic that is from Aldi, right? And I love this because it's already peeled. I've already shown you this before. Yes, you can peel a whole head of garlic, you know, if you're channeling your pioneer woman. But I'm using peeled garlic because I love like tradition and efficiency. And here's how I think about it. So fresh garlic, if you peel it yourself, it's kind of like a whole fruit. Bagged garlic is kind of like pre-cut fruit. I do want to make sure that I know the difference. Whole is always better, a little better, but pre-cut will still absolutely nourish your body. Absolutely. So if something like a $2 bag of peeled garlic saves you 15 minutes in your sanity, yes, absolutely. Grab the peeled garlic, especially from Aldi, because their prices are great. So what you're going to go ahead and do with this recipe, I'm just using a quart-sized jar for all of these recipes. That's what you're going to see on the recipe jar. So you're just going to take your garlic here, go ahead and pour it in a bag, and then actually... And this recipe is so delicious. So what I want you to know is that as I am filling this bag, I'm actually going to go ahead and stop at just above the neck here, because you're not trying to overflow things. So I'm going to add just a little bit more. Again, just above or just below the neck of the jar. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Boom. So we have the garlic that's in there. And then up next, I want to go ahead and show you, because I know you're going to ask. Oops. Okay. So this is the honey that I'm using. Okay. And so I'm using raw honey. This is from Aldi. Again, it's super affordable. And then I'm actually going to boost it with a couple of spoonfuls of the Manuka honey. And I really like doing this, because what you're going to notice about these two is that Manuka honey is like the heavyweight champion of honeys. It's incredibly concentrated. It is antimicrobial, but it also ain't cheap. Okay. It is not cheap. So this little jar was almost $10, right? But the Aldi version is a great middle ground. And if you don't have an Aldi near you, like, you know what store that you can go to that's going to give you a great price on like a generic brand. And then also you're going to get those medicinal compounds even if it doesn't say raw, because I was actually reading something that was sharing that there's this type of like index, especially if you're looking at like where it's sourced from in New Zealand, that is getting you like enough of those compounds where you don't need to like overpay necessarily for this. And so I am going to go ahead and combine these two honeys here. So I'm likely going to go ahead and use this whole jar. So we're just going to pour our honey over top. And then you may want to, as the bubbles are forming, have a chopstick on hand just to kind of release some of those air bubbles. And then as you pour, you just want to make sure, oh, this is just gorgeous. Who knew that medicine making was actually fun? Okay. Yeah, so we're just going to go ahead. Yeah. And you'll have to pour it a little bit at a time as the honey just starts to kind of go through your jars. Yeah, right there. Okay. And here's what's going to happen. So over the next couple of days, this honey, you can see that it has like a high viscosity right now. That's like the thickness, but it's actually going to get thinner and you're going to start to see like these little bubbles. And y'all, that is natural fermentation, right? It's like the jars are quietly fizzing with life. And so, yeah, you just want to make sure after you cover this with a lid that you just twist it open for a little bit, give a little bit of air. That's what's known as burping your jars. Or you can just go ahead and if you don't have those, like you're fine. You can just like burp it as you remember. It's not a serious ferment where it's gonna, get crazy on you. All right. Now here's another thing too. We all know that no honey in any form for babies over 1. And then another question I feel like I might get asked is if your garlic starts to turn blue or green, you don't have to panic at all. I'm going to stop here and then get ready to pour in some of my Manuka honey. But yeah, if your garlic is turning blue or green, don't immediately panic. So that's just a reaction between like the sulfur compounds in garlic and then the trace minerals that are in the honey. You can see how much a little bit darker the Manuka honey is. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and pour that in. All right. And so, yeah, that color may look a little wild, but it's harmless. And actually, it's kind of pretty if you have your green garlic that's in there. All right. So this is just going to go ahead. I'm going to wait for this to come down, but I'll keep talking about this remedy here. And so this is where I want you to stop thinking like, oh, food is punishment, right? Because what you can do with this, y'all, look at this. Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous. So what you can do with this is you can take a spoonful of honey, like straight. Oh, here's a big old bubble. Yeah, that's just popping here. Yeah, you can take a big spoonful of honey just straight. You can chop a clove and then whisk it into a salad dressing. You can drizzle the honey over roasted carrots or chicken. Oh, that's so good. You can even stir it into tea, like after the tea cools a bit. Oh my goodness, it is so good. And so again, I don't want you to just necessarily think about as you're making any of these remedies that, oh, I'm only using these if and when I feel this. No, take it apart or take it as part of like your overall wellness routine and also fold it into your existing culinary routine. Honey garlic is delicious. Okay, it is absolutely delicious. It's like having a little jar of superfood that just sits like in your medicine cabinet. It also just like wants to become dinner. Now, the dosage really kind of depends, but from what I personally do and what I've read, that for adults, you can take like 1 clove or 1 spoonful of honey when you're feeling like you're coming down with something. You can also do that a couple of times a day for like a few days in a row, sometimes what I do. So I want to ask the chat, have you made honey garlic before? And would you eat a clove, or are you a person that's like, oh, I think I'm just going to stick with the honey, Cassandra? Go ahead and let me know on that one. And so, yeah, y'all, like this is absolutely it for that. And I'm going to go ahead and see if we have any questions that are popping up for folks. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I can see my screen. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, okay. Marissa, do we have any questions here? I feel like I may be. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, friends. Hold on. There's something going on with my screen. I may have like hit something where I am not seeing the questions. It's okay. It's okay. Hold on. Let me look at some things here on my screen. Okay. Okay, friends. I think it's okay. I will. Have I clicked something? Okay, we're good. So I do see one question here, and it says here, I made garlic onion honey syrup. How long can I keep it in the fridge? The garlic onion honey syrup is a homemade cold remedy. Yeah, absolutely. So you can store homemade honey, onion, garlic, like in the refrigerator. Most of the time, you're going to see with the cookbooks and online and blogs that I've seen about 1 month, as long as it was made with fresh ingredients. And you also want to make sure that things are like kept airtight in a jar. You always, and here's the thing that, like, when it is starting to go bad, if you see mold or bubbling, or, oh, sorry, y'all. Let me go ahead and, yeah, you can't see me. Or like any type of off smell, right? So like the best way to absolutely know is to like use these sensors, right? Like use your eyes, use your sense of smell, see if you're noticing any mold. Yeah, I have kept mine longer than that. I have personally been able to keep mine longer than that, like even like on my counter, and it's still fine. So I think it depends on things like, like how warm or cold you're keeping your house. Again, the freshness of the ingredients. Is it absolutely, airtight? That kind of thing. I often don't keep, most of the time, I'm making it like a half-gallon jar size too, but it's not really lasting around my house more than like a month and a half. Because it's so good. You're gonna want this like you're all the time just for regular cooking. Okay, so we had another question. How long does it take does fermented garlic last? Again, typically fermented garlic that is stored in the fridge can last you at least 12 months or longer. I've got to shout out the channel, the Fermented Homestead with Anna. She is like a fermentista for sure. She actually has her own fermentation company. She's done like so awesome. But yeah, as long as it stays submerged in brine, and again, doesn't show any signs of spoilage, your ferments will absolutely let you know, like when they're starting to like spoil or if something is off. So if you ever see mold or like a bad smell or a slimy texture, absolutely discard it. So yeah, those are the things I would absolutely note. How long does honey and garlic last before it goes bad? Again, I would say about a month in the fridge, because the garlic is actually adding moisture. And that's the thing over time to kind of look out for. Yeah, look at how our garlic has like already settled to the bottom. Yeah, like this ferment is so easy. But yeah, so that's the thing that you want to look out for, but it can last several months, or up to a year if it just smells right, looks right, and doesn't grow mold. And definitely like people I have seen not only on blogs but other like channels, yeah, that it does absolutely last that long. Okay, so where do you want to store honey garlic syrup that's homemade? Yeah, in a clean like airtight jar, right? You can keep it in the refrigerator, or if you have a cooler spot, that's in your home. Yeah, just make sure that you're keeping it cold. And then sometimes I just like to like move the jar, like, stir it, and then toss it if it shows any signs of mold. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to keep things moving. And I do want to go ahead and share with you. Let's try this. Okay, so y'all, don't be intimidated by these questions. Do not at all. So fermented honey garlic naturally bubbles because, is it one, the garlic is trying to escape? Two, the honey is secretly carbonated? Three, the garlic and honey are fermenting and releasing tiny gases? Or four, your jar has cracked? So go ahead if you are so inclined to share this. So this is an excellent remedy for sore throats. It really helps with, oh, okay. Wow, look at y'all, 86%. Okay. Yes, you're absolutely right. So yeah, they're fermenting and they're releasing tiny gases, right? That is the natural process of fermentation. Nicely done, friends. Nicely done. So what I'm just doing now is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to place a cap here right on my honey garlic. And then, yeah, I'm going to make sure that for the next couple of days, and it's going to start to release its liquid. Like, this is it. This is it. I'll go ahead and just write on here, like when I made it, but like, this is not going to last too long. Oh, you know what you actually can do? Drats. And I had some herbs here, like right in front of me. So I will go ahead, if you want to boost like the compounds that are here, it's okay. I have some other recipes for this. You can also add like herbs into this recipe as well that are really good for like respiratory. Things like your rosemary, your thyme. It also adds like wonderful flavorings. You also don't have to, but I have done that before. When I make this for my dad, he loves to have that in his batch. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm going to cap this honey here. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move into our next recipe, which is going to be, oh, this one is so great. This is going to be our onion syrup. Let me go ahead and grab my cutting board. Okay, I have my cutting board that's right here. And oops, let me get my sharp knife. Hold on. Okay, and this one is so great. So I've got a couple of onions that are here. I also have my quart size mason jar, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that you see the recipe that is on the screen. And this one is, it's an onion cough syrup, y'all. Again, cough syrup prices, they're so crazy. They're so crazy. Like, yeah, they're like $10 and up for a bottle now, like even for generic. And so it's like, my goodness, can you even afford to be sick? I digress a little bit, but this one is onion syrup or onion cough medicine is so old fashioned that this should show up with like a little shawl on, y'all, right? So like if honey garlic is like, you know, something that we're using to that's like quick and like flashy and fun and like, oh, it's culinary, y'all, like onion garlic is over here like, look, I was here before you, youngin. And so what's happening here, and I am continuing to use the honey that I've already opened, but you can absolutely also use sugar for this recipe. And you can use white sugar, you can use brown sugar, but basically what's happening is that the honey, or if you're using sugar, acts like a magnet, and it pulls the liquid that's out of the honey. And then the liquid, so what's here in your onion, it's full of these compounds that are known of like sulfur, and sulfur helps to thin mucus and to calm your chest. So I'm going to go ahead and start to slice my onions. Oh, another note. So I like to use, as you can see here, both red and yellow onions together, because yellow is kind of like your workhorse. It's classic, it's potent, it's dependable. But then red onion is really going to bring out that pretty pink color and extra antioxidants. So these two together are like the duo that you didn't know you needed. I think sometimes we're stuck on like, oh, like only use, like one particular ingredient. Like, no, like most of the time, I think we're all cooking with red or yellow onions. So for this recipe, yeah, absolutely go ahead and use both. And so, yes, you can use either honey, raw honey, regular honey, or plain sugar. You have, a preference. What the honey is doing is it brings its own soothing antimicrobial benefits, and it really helps to coat your throat. Now, sugar doesn't have all of those extras, but again, don't worry about it. Use what you have, because it is all about drawing out the sulfur compounds that are here in your onion. Woo, oh my goodness. Okay. So if you're making this for a baby that's like under one, this is not something, again, that you're going to go ahead and give them. But as you slice your onions, we're just going to go ahead and put them here in our jar. All right. Put this here. And I'm just going to go ahead and now, a thing to stop you from crying with your onions. I'm tough, y'all. I do this all the time. You can put them in the refrigerator. if you're someone who isn't used to like cutting up your onions. So I'm going to put in my purple onion here, and we're going to go ahead. Oh, nope. Hold on. Sorry, friends. Okay, we're back. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to pour in our honey. All right, I think I am going to actually need my other bottle here, and that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Okay. So as we pour this in, you're going to leave the onions in the jar for about 6 to 8 weeks. It can be even longer than that, right? You just want to make sure that they stay submerged under the honey. And then I just pour off whatever I need. The honey really is going to preserve them beautifully. I've also used brown sugar. Oh, I have a jar actually that's in my dining room where I used brown sugar. But again, Aldi actually has their bottles of honey, at least at mine. They're 30 cents off their normal price. Where is my extra honey? Okay, here it is. Yeah. So this is also the time of year where like I'm stocking up on my honey. All right. So adults, I would say you can take like 1 spoonful every few hours whenever your cough starts to get a little bothersome. And even if you don't love spoonfuls of like syrup on your own, you can stir this into either warm, not boiling water, and you can maybe like drink it like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and just slice up my yellow onion. You can use it as a base for broth. Like since it's a little bit sweet and savory, but it's still going to give you like that onion flavor that's there. But y'all, you know me, I love my onions. I love my garlic. You can even drizzle this over like roasted vegetables. Oh, it's so good. Like the work is already done there for you. And actually now, y'all, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and take some of my herbs, which I will go ahead and strain. I'm going to add a little bit of thyme. Oh my goodness. This is going to taste so delicious. It's going to taste so delicious. Yeah, I'm going to add a bit of, I cut back a lot of my sage. It's starting to get really cool, but I still have a little bit of that. So I'm going to add some sage that's here. I'll save that because I want to save this for a little something else. I still have a little bit of rosemary that's hanging on. So I'm going to add some rosemary to this for some additional compounds. And now I'm going to go ahead and layer in my yellow onion here. See, y'all, we've already made 2 remedies that are here. Oh, this is awesome. Awesome. And this is medicine that to me actually tastes really, really good. Really good. And again, it's costing like pennies to make, right? Okay, so let me go ahead, finish adding these. And then I think I can probably cut a little bit more of a red onion. Let's pour the rest of our honey over top. Okay. So I have a question for you guys. Who remembers grandma, auntie making something like this, y'all? All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I think you can see I have another question that I'm going to go ahead and pull up here on the screen. Okay. So here it is. Here's my question to you. Why does onion cough syrup actually work? And you're just going to go ahead and type your answer in the chat, a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Is it 1, because onions release compounds that thin mucus? Or is it 2, onions make you cry so the cold leaves your body? 3, because grandma said so. Or 4, it tricks your brain with the flavor. Go ahead and add your response to the chat. Wow. Y'all, I'm just thinking about the taste here. You know that saying, let food be thy medicine and medicine be your food? This is it. This is it. We've got some Manuka honey that's here. And boom. All right. Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Look at the farm girls here on the channel. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, you've got it. You've got it, friends. Wow. Okay. So with that being said, let me go ahead and see if I can see any questions that are here in the chat. Okay. All right. So I do see a question here, and it says sugar and honey act as an antibacterial, right? Yes, yes, yes. So sugar and honey, they are moisture sucking powerhouses, right? So they make it really tough for any bacteria to survive. And honey even brings its own natural antibacterial enzymes to the party, anyways. So, yes, absolutely. Thank you. Another question here says, does the onion cough syrup need to be refrigerated? Yes, yeah, ideally, or kept very cool. So I would say here, like I have kept my cough syrups just in our lower floor. Like it's cooler down there. So this time of the year, I have left it not refrigerated, but you want to make sure that it is kept cool. Or yes, it can also be refrigerated because the onions are releasing so much of that moisture, they can start to spoil if they're like in a very warm space, right? Like I'm not going to store them here on my countertops where like they're next to the stove and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely keep them someplace cool and sealed. Now, do you eat the onions and homemade onions in a cough syrup? Yeah, yes, I do. Others will, but you do not have to, right? Because actually the magic is really in if you're using it to kind of like coat a sore throat, it's in the actual syrup that the onions are releasing, right? So what most folks are going to do, they're just going to strain the onions and take the liquid. But if you want that extra cook, yeah, like these onions are absolutely edible. And I will go ahead like sometimes and just like if I'm making pork chops or chicken, because they do kind of like mellow out too while they're here in this syrup. And I'll just like place them on some chicken, right? It looks a little fancy. It tastes great. You know, they have this nice crunch, really good flavor because they're sweet. So yeah, that one's totally optional, totally up to you. Good question. All right. So we have, I'm going to top this with just a little bit more honey there. And then I'm going to place my lid over top. 2 recipes already done. Oh, yes, just like that. All right, friends. Okay, so let me go ahead and I am going to move to our next recipe. Just let me create a little bit of space here, y'all. All right, let me move this over here. And all right. So the next question. Okay. So yes. So now we're gonna go ahead and make our sage. Our sage. Where did I put that bit? Okay, right here. Our sage gargle, y'all. So this one is another great recipe that I know that you are absolutely going to love. It's super simple. Yeah. Okay. Here's the little jar that I had for this one. Okay. So I think a reason that you're going to love this one is even when you're looking for like the sore throats, for me, especially when I go back to school, that is kind of what kicks in first. It's like that sore throat. I'm like, oh no. And if you've ever really had like an inflamed throat, it's just absolutely the worst. Oh my goodness. So like, I love this recipe for when you're like, okay, I'm not all the way like sick, but something feels like it's brewing. And that's absolutely where this sage and salt gargle really starts to come in. It is not glamorous at all, but it is absolutely effective. And so what I kind of want you to think about is now my sage right now is kind of like dying back a little bit, but that's okay because all summer I have been able to like freeze dry the sage. Sorry, y'all. That's Thor. Yeah, his dad's gonna be coming home here in a little bit, so you might hear him act a little crazy. So he probably hears something. Anyways, so you want to think of sage. I do have some fresh sage that's here, but you want to think of sage as the herb that tightens and tones. Yeah, the tightens and tones. So when your throat is starting to feel like puffy or swampy, or like you've been yelling at, a game, sage is like the friend who says, okay, let's come in and like firm this up. And then salt is going to be like the balancer. It's going to draw out extra fluid from your swollen tissues, and it really helps to just like clean up the area. So what you're going to go ahead and do is I am actually going to go ahead and use my dried sage just because it will be shelf stable a little bit longer rather than my fresh. And so I'm going to take, y'all, look at how beautiful the freeze-dried sage is. Man, like I love it. The freeze dryer has been excellent for the taste and color of of a lot of herbs, because I used to use my dehydrator, and I still absolutely do. But y'all, like, look at this. That is wonderful. So this is fresh. This is freeze dried. But what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to take a jar here. You can go ahead and put this in the blender, or you can just like, if you're like me and it's dried, I'm just going to crumple it really quickly, right? It's not that serious. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and crinkle this here. You can also use like your mortar and pestle if you have that too. But I'm just going to go ahead. It's so fragile, and use my hands. All right, but we have our sage in here. Oh, and it smells amazing. Oh, it's sage. Yes, like I just love that sage smell, don't you? Oh, there's just something about it. Something about it. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to go back and do, though, I do want to use my blender so that I can take these stems and blend those up too. Like, you do not need to waste those either. Okay, but I'm omitting them now because I'm just crushing this by hand. Okay. All right. So we're just going to go ahead, crush up your herbs. Okay. And it's equal parts. So it's half and half, right? That's what we're doing, no matter what size you're making. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my Redmond's real salt. And it's fine to eyeball it. Again, it's like half and half. Yep. Okay. We're going to go ahead here and shake it up here. All right. Now, I would say for this, I like making this particular remedy with dried sage. And then, like, because if you do it like this, it's basically going to last for forever, right? If it's in an airtight container. But if you're using like fresh sage leaves and blending them with salt, that mix is more like a paste. You want to keep it in your fridge, and it will last about like a week, right? But I like doing this because I'm going to make it, and then I just kind of want to be done with it. And then this is how I really get utility out of my dried herbs this time of year. So yeah, y'all, again, not glamorous, but sage really works. It really, really works. So you want to gargle with this mix for about 20 to 30 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day, whenever your throat starts acting up. And it's going to be, you don't have to buy like the Listerine, which is also pricey, has other chemicals in there that we don't know what it is. This is so much, it's even more soothing, right? Also, you're not swallowing this. Do not swallow this. This is strictly a like swish and spit situation. Yeah, so we've already made our third medicine. And so I have another question for you that's here. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull this up here. Okay, here's the question. What makes sage such a powerhouse in a gargle? Is it 1, sage is secretly mint? 2, sage helps tighten and dry inflamed throat tissue? 3, it changes your voice pitch? Or 4, it tricks your taste buds? All right, while you're answering that, I will go ahead and get us ready for the next recipe here. Okay. Let me wipe my countertops down. Wash my hands. Okay, let me see what our answers are. Can you all see my slide? Maybe not. I don't know. Oh, resume. Sorry. Okay, I just saw it. It froze on me. Okay. Oh, now I see it. Oh, fantastic. 100%. Sage helps tighten inflamed throat tissue. Yes. Excellent, friends. Perfect. Exactly. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to our golden milk paste. You're absolutely going to love this one. So this is probably a nighttime ritual that you have heard that a lot of people use with good reason, including myself. Not every night, but the way that I store it like this has really helped it become just easier to make and do. So what we're basically doing is we are going to take ginger, and we're also going to take some turmeric. You can use fresh if you have that. And we're going to mix it with some cinnamon, some cardamom, which I have down here in my little drawer here. I might need to grab her a little bit later, but yeah, you want to make sure that you're adding cardamom. And then absolutely anytime you have turmeric, you want to make sure that you have black pepper. And then you're going to add a little bit of fat. So you can use either with this recipe, or you can use unrefined coconut oil. And we are going to make this into a paste. Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and use this one. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and make this into a paste. And it's gonna be like super easy for then you to just take this and plop it into milk. So that way you're not always gathering like all your ingredients every single time you want to have golden milk. That's the hack, right? Like that's the hack. And this just stays like right in the refrigerator. You're going to love it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my blender to show you this because it comes together so quickly. And I'm also just going to go ahead and turn my back burner over here on low. Okay. I don't know that you see me cook with this pan too much, but y'all, this was a thrift store find that I found. It's like ceramic. I'd never even heard of this brand, but I was like, this is something that's really, really good. Y'all, I found this for like $8 at the thrift store. And you know that you can use it on your stovetop if it says like flame on the bottom. It's by Emile Henry. I think this says France here, but let me know. Have y'all heard of this before? I'm certain that you've seen this like soul little red pan back here, but I love this little pan just as an alternative to my cast iron. It's the only other pan that I have that isn't really cast iron. No, I have one little other small one that my mom likes to use. Okay, let me go ahead, get my blender. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bring this over. All right. So we're going to blend these dry spices into a blender first because it's going to make them like silky smooth and even. So first up, we have some turmeric here. And I know that personally, yeah, I had to bring up my bigger one from downstairs because this one here, that's all I do, y'all, right? I just refill up my little spices here. All right, so we're going to add our turmeric, and I'm going to need a little bit more. So I'm going to get this. Let me put this over here. Okay. All right. And then after our turmeric, we're going to go ahead and add our ginger. So I'm dropping in that. You can use fresh or dried. And then I am not scared of ginger, y'all. I am not. Not at all. So here's our ginger. Okay. And then we're next going to add our cinnamon. And you can use cinnamon sticks or, oh, good. Okay. Here's some of my cloves that are here. And then, so Ceylon cinnamon is ideally what we want to go ahead and use. This is the cinnamon that has more of the medicinal properties in it. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. It's not as sweet as I think it's called the Casein, like what we're most used to using. So I've dropped some of that in. All right. Next, my cardamom. Okay. All right. Okay. So again, the turmeric, I'm not sure that I mentioned, but the turmeric in this recipe is here for its anti-inflammatory like superpower, right? Which is this property that's called curcumin. And then the ginger and the cinnamon are going to bring that warmth, and they're really going to help with circulation. Now you always have to have black pepper anytime you're using, oops, just dropped my little lid here. So I'm going to go ahead and just grind in some black peppercorns that are here. And so black pepper and fat help your body to actually absorb the curcumin. So they're like ride sharing, right? Like it's taking the curcumin, the pepper is taking the curcumin where it needs to go in your body. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to blend this up. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead, and you have the option here to use whatever carrier fat that you want to use. They offer different, like it really doesn't matter in terms of, it's just like the taste preference. So I'm going to go with coconut this time. The ghee is just, it makes it extremely rich. If you like that, that's fine, right? If you don't prefer like the overall taste of coconut oil, ghee is going to be perfect for this. I've used both interchangeably. So then we're going to go ahead, we're making basically a paste with this, is I just have this on low, and we're going to take a good portion of our coconut oil and put this in the pan just to melt it. I need a real spoon, which I have over here. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and have that coconut oil melt in my pan. Sorry, y'all. This is about to be loud. I'm so sorry. I try to remember to turn things down, but I'm going to blend up my ginger that's in here. Okay. Okay, that is perfect. You can use all drying spices as well. That makes it easier, or if that's what you already have. Absolutely. But again, I've got so much ginger. I've got ginger bugs going. I've got kombucha going, y'all. So I just already had some fresh ginger on hand. I wish I could pick you up, but like you are connected to this outlet right here. So I can't move you. But I'm now just taking the melted or the melting coconut. And I'm adding our mixture here to the pan. All right. And we're going to go ahead. What did I do with my spoon? What did I just had it. Oh, okay. I found it. Close call. Got it. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and mix this together until it forms a paste. All right. So that will likely need maybe just another minute or so. I have that heat that is on low. Yeah, so you're just going to make it into a paste. And then we're just going to tuck that into the jar. I need to get ready to move this big honking blender. Move this here. Okay. Oh, okay, that gives me some more real estate. But yeah, after this melts here in the next minute or two, we're going to add it to a jar. We're going to place a lid up over top. And then we're just going to tuck it into the fridge. And I like this idea because instead of pulling out, as I mentioned earlier, 5 jars of spices every night and making a mess, you just do the work once. And then anytime you want golden milk, you're just going to heat your milk either in the fridge or on the stove, right? And stir in a spoonful of your paste, you know, maybe some honey if that's what you want to do. And it could actually be, you know, I always like to say, I especially have to tell this to my dad, there are 2 reasons that you eat: for taste and nutrition. And so look, this is where you can fold in, some of the honeys, the medicinal honeys that we already have. It could also be regular honey, right? Doesn't always have to be that way, but you can start to see how you're stacking your nutrients in that way. Oh my goodness, this just is smelling so amazing over here. So yeah, you do that routine, and in 15 minutes, you're absolutely done. You have your golden milk. It's super simple. So in terms of shelf life, this will last for about like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. You always want to use a clean spoon when you go in to like take a spoonful or two, or however, whatever you like, how much you like in your milk. That way you're not like introducing anything funky into your turmeric mix. And yeah, like you're going to love this. Yeah, it's ready. It's ready just like that. Okay. Yeah, essentially. I still have 2 little chunks that are in here. Hold on. I just lost my spoon. Oh gosh. I just lost my spoon. Hold on, y'all. All right, can't edit that out. Okay. All right. Hold on. Okay. There we go. All right. It's okay. I have plenty of clean spoons that are already over here. All right. Oh yeah. What was I doing? Okay. Yeah. So here is our paste, right? Here's our golden milk. Just right here. It's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pour this into the jar. All right. Oh my goodness. Wow, this smells so good. Smells so good. Yeah. Yep. And that is turmeric milk on easy mode. All right. So now I have this. We're going to go ahead. It's not all the way hot, but I can go ahead and put this in the fridge. Okay. So y'all, we are just like rocking and rolling tonight. Like, are we not? So let's go ahead. I wonder if you can still see the screen here. Okay. So here's my question. Here you are. All right, now you can see me. So here's my question. And you're just type it into the chat. Why do so many golden milk recipes include black pepper? Is it 1, it makes the drink spicy? 2, pepper helps your body absorb turmeric's active compounds? 3, tradition? Or 4, it keeps the paste from separating? Go ahead and... Okay, all right. This screen is a little bit different on my side. I can't actually see... Huh. Okay, so it's showing me that 7 people have the correct answer. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But yes, you're absolutely going to love this. So let me go ahead and answer some of the questions that I see popping up as folks are responding. But the question that we have here is what is golden milk paste used for? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mention that. So golden milk is used as a cozy anti-inflammatory remedy that you can stir into warm milk. Also tea to help soothe inflammation in your body. For sure. It is excellent at attacking inflammation, supporting immunity, and then calming your body. So lots of people will take it for joint pain, for colds, and for better sleep. Again, it just has that soothing property, which is why a lot of people are pairing it kind of like around nighttime when you're really just looking for your body to start to relax, and overall wellness. Yes, and they've just turned it into like a beverage form. Yeah, for sure. Sorry I didn't make that clear up front, y'all. Another question that I'm seeing here in the chat is, when making golden milk paste, can you use a milk alternative? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if milk isn't your thing, you can use coconut milk, you can use almond milk, whatever milk is your thing. Cashew milk, right? Like, they all work beautifully, and will still give you that comforting turmeric powder goodness. And actually, like, sometimes you can actually take this and I'll stir it into like rice. It's really good. Like, if you're already used to like that turmeric flavor, or sometimes even just take like a spoonful of this. Like, these are things like, it tastes good. Like, it's turmeric, it's coconut oil. You don't need a whole lot of it, but yes, you want to consistently take, like, these are not like, oh, one and done kind of recipes, they build up like over time. So over a pattern of weeks, yeah, you're really going to start to notice a difference. So like joints, aches and pains, tightness, turmeric is amazing for inflammation. Don't go out and like buy turmeric pills. Either make your own or you want to do a remedy like this for sure. Absolutely. Good questions. Okay, friends. So we're going to go ahead because we are like knocking these remedies all the way out. And next up, a classic one. So I'm going to go ahead. I got to clear some room here. And we are going to make, actually, I should have you guess. Actually, I can't even. Do you see some of the ingredients here? We have apple cider vinegar with the mother. We have some garlic, lemon, more garlic that's here. Ginger that's here. We have turmeric. Okay, all right. A couple of people I could tell are like, oh, I know what that is. We're making fire cider. Yes. So if you share that, that is exactly what we are making. And I'm telling you, this tonic has like big boss energy. I always, like currently right now, I already have fire cider that's in my fridge because I'm never without fire cider. And I do use some core ingredients, but also like you can really swing this in so many different directions. So don't get hung up on having all the things or leaving out a thing or two. It's fine. It is fine. There are some heavy hitters that you want to include, and we'll go over that. But even the recipe that I'm showing you, I'm certain is a variation off of likely how you do it. And that is absolutely fine. So what we're going to go ahead, actually, since I just omitted that, you may be wondering like, what is fire cider? So for starters, it's not a precise like lab formula. It is a folk recipe, and everyone's going to make it a little bit differently. You're basically building a powerhouse team in a jar, right? Everything in here is either pungent, spicy, bright, or aromatic. And so first off, you're going to have your onions and your garlic. So yeah, we have our onions and garlic that's here. And so these two together are going to support, they're very pungent. And so pungent flavors are providing immune support. And then you're going to have ginger and turmeric. And these two are going to be excellent for like warmth and circulation. And then we're going to have hot peppers. So I have here my jalapeno peppers that are here for circulation and heat. And then you can also add a little bit of honey. Honey a little bit later on, but herbs here. They've been sitting here like the whole night, almost forgot about them. But we're adding things like herbs like rosemary and thyme. If you still have those on hand, they can be fresh or dried. And then we're also going to add a twist. So this time of year, you'll see people adding things like citrus. So like, yeah, you absolutely want to make sure that you're using something like lemon because they're providing a lot of vitamin C, and also oranges, but oranges really aren't in season until like December through March. And that's where you're going to like start to see them at a much better price than you're seeing them now. But you know what you are going to start to find on sale for like 99 cents a bag this time of year? Cranberries. Yes. So I'm absolutely going to use cranberries in this recipe because they are loaded with antioxidants and different flavonoids that are in here, also high in vitamin C. And so switching it out, it also creates a beautiful looking jar. So that's where I'm saying like at this particular point, and what I'll also do is as I make my jar full of my fire cider, I was not able to find fresh horseradish. It's like that sometimes around here. The jar that I have in there has horseradish in it. That's fine. You know why? Because I will sometimes start to make a jar of fire cider and I'll build it like over time. As long as things stay like submerged, you're absolutely fine. So don't be afraid to just go ahead and get started with what you have, which is what I'm doing. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to slice everything up. I'm running out of countertop space. Slide over, Ben. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of the onion here. Oh, But before I go ahead and do this first. So a note about the horseradish. Yeah, I don't always see it in stores, but I will go ahead and I'll just add it to some of my jars a little bit later. But then after we cut everything up, we're just going to submerge it in the apple cider vinegar. Now, here is one thing that is helpful to know. You're going to want to, it is best to take these ingredients. Oh yeah, I want to use this. The smaller, I haven't always done it like this, but the smaller, ideally, you can cut up everything, the better, because you're increasing the surface area exposure as it's extracting in the vinegar. And so to do that, just go ahead and like put things in a blender. So yeah, you don't have to. I've just cut things up by hand, but I just wanted to go ahead and pass that along. All right. Okay. Yep. There's you might hear Mr. Thor coming on in. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and add the ginger to the blender. I'm also going to go ahead and add some of my jalapeno peppers. Yep, even with the seeds in here, again, the hotter the better. This thing will put some hair on your chest, as they say, but totally worth it. You just want to take it like a shot, and you got to commit. You've got to commit. You don't want to hesitate with this one. So I am using I'm probably going to make at least like a half of this jar right now, but I think that's 6 peppers that are in there. I also have a bit of fresh turmeric here. Yep, fresh turmeric here. I'm going to add that to the blender. And yeah, so I'm going to add these, and then I'm just going to pulse. Oh, my garlic. I'm going to add that to the jar. And the rest of these cloves. And then I'm going to add an assortment of herbs in here. So I have thyme, I have sage, and I have rosemary. All right. And yeah, that's what I'm using so far. So let's go ahead and blend this part up now. Blender. Oh yeah, I moved it back over here. Oh, I'm also going to add my cinnamon sticks. My whole cinnamon sticks to this. Yeah, I like to do that as well. All right, sorry, it's going to be loud, friends. It's going to be loud. Dude, where's my lid? Where's my lid? Did I get it out? I thought I did. Hold on. Okay, right over here. I just left it. All right. Okay, we're just going to pulse it a little bit. Wow, perfect. And now I'm just going to toss in, look at these gorgeous cranberries. Can you see them? Yep, there we go. All right. Woo! Oh, man. Okay. Yep, that's it. That's all you need to do. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and add these to the jar. I mean, this is going to be one of the most pretty fire ciders that you ever did see. All right, let me go ahead and use my funnel for this. And I'm just going to pour everything in. Hold on, friends. Just want to wash my hands quickly. Okay. All right, so now we're going to pour all of this in. Wow, I said half, but you know what? I really am cramming it in here. And here's the thing again that I really love about seasonal shopping is that it is giving you, right? It's such a great way to extract the nutrients that nature's giving us anyway at this time of year, right? Wow. Oh yeah. Wow. That is a pretty jar. Yeah. Oh, I'm so super excited about that. Boom. Just like that. Just like that. So let's go ahead and pour over our apple cider vinegar. Again, you want to make sure that you have this with the mother. Now, this is going to sit for 4 to 6 weeks, like just on the counter in a cabinet. And then just remember from time to time to give it a little bit of a shake when you remember. Then you're going to strain it, sweeten it with honey when if you want, and then store the finished tonic in the fridge. It will keep for at least a year. At least a year. And yes, I have done that because there was one year where I made like 3 of these. And we were having a pretty healthy year. And yeah, I didn't touch the other one. Like it was back there, but it was there when we needed it, right? Like you want this stuff ready before you need it. Yeah, so this is something that you want to take when someone at work is coughing on you, or you just start to feel that first kind of like in your throat. You know exactly what I mean. This is it, the fire cider. You want to get it like the first course of action, right? And so again, you can either take this as a tiny shot straight. That's how we do it. Or you can dilute it in water if you're new to it, but you got to commit. Just swallow it, y'all. It does its thing. Another thing to do is to use it in salad dressing as a base, or even drizzle this over roasted potatoes or your greens, or like add a splash to your bone broth, right? Or your chicken stock. It's absolutely there and, ready for you. Okay. So again, these are things that are not living inside of a sick bin, right? Like they are meant to show up still in very real meals. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and place a lid over top, and we've got our second batch of fire cider. Wow. Oh, I'm so excited. The fall cranberry edition. Okay, friends. Wow. And just like this, we're moving on to, this is our last food recipe, but then I've got another, a quick little project that I wanted to share with you that I really love doing this time of year. It's also just great for gifts. It's really economical. Oh, do I have another question here for you? Let's see here. I think I do. Oh, huh. Okay. I'm not sure about this slide. I wanted to try it, but I wasn't sure. Okay. So let's go ahead with this question. So why do we add all of these pungent, spicy ingredients to the fire cider? Is it 1, to grow hair on your chest? 2, to clear your sinuses and support circulation? 3, it looks pretty in a jar? Or 2, to make you sneeze? So while you're voting with that, I will go ahead and clear off some countertop space here. Okay, I don't need this one. I'm going to take this over here. Okay. That's there. Okay. Okay, friends. All right, friends. So this fire cider is great to clear your sinuses and support circulation. So you're going to love that recipe. Okay, next up, and this is what I wanted to go ahead and actually surprise you with a little bit. So I think that this is like an underdog, really. And what we're about to make here now is, let me go ahead and show you, because you might not see these all the time, or you might see them and just like overlook them. So these are parsnips, and we're going to make a parsnip kvass. Now, most people have heard of beet kvass, and beet kvass is wonderful, right? It is absolutely wonderful. But let's be honest, she is very loud, right? She tastes like, some people would say like the earth is yelling at you. And it's just maybe more of an acquired taste. I do not mind it at all. But you might have to grow into it. However, beet kvass or parsnip kvass is like the beet kvass's softer, sweeter cousin. She is gentle, lightly sweet. And it's kind of like, the best way I could describe it is like a minerally lemonade. Yeah. I think that's where like I settled on like the taste, right? Which is doable. So we're just going to take a couple of parsnips and we are going to chop them, and we're going to fill a quart-sized jar just about halfway. So, oh my goodness. Did I have any questions about the, I'll come back to that. I'm so sorry, friends. Here I am like trying to like move along as quickly as possible. Okay, I will come back for the questions on the apple cider vinegar. So we're just going to take, again, our parsnips, and yeah, you want to just chop them up. These are also great as like a keto-friendly like mashed potato alternative. They're so good. They're really, really good that way. Okay, I actually had made those for my family one time, and they were like, oh, yeah, this is really good. Oh, my goodness. And I just love the way that parsnips smell, y'all. Okay. Okay, so I'm taking my jar here, filling it up about halfway. All right. Okay. Has anyone heard of Parsnip Kvass? Let me know if you have before, if you've tried it, if you would agree with how I just described it. I don't know. Maybe that's just like my taste buds, but I think that's a good way to describe it. All right. I have these other little pieces here that I've cut off. And then I think I'll just do one more. So then after this, what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle about a teaspoon of sea salt over top of this. All right, so we have our half jar here. Now we're going to sprinkle half teaspoon of sea salt in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and eyeball it there. Okay, and then we're going to top with filtered water. So I'm just going to go over to my Berkey that's right here on the counter. And you're going to fill it with filtered water to the shoulders here. Okay, so you want to leave about 1 to 2 inches of headspace, and a lid is going to go on loosely. So let me go ahead and fill it with water. Okay. Okay. All right. So we fill things with water, and let me move my cutting board here out of the way. So this is what we're looking like. And we're going to place a lid over top. Oh, I need another lid. Oh, good. Oh, sorry. I know. My lids are crazy. All right. So that sound is okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I just have a fermentation lid. For this, it doesn't necessarily need to have one, but all of my lids, I am fermenting everything all over the house. So the lids are kind of like what I have here, but we're just going to go ahead and place a lid over top. And here's what's going to go ahead and happen. So as it ferments over 3 to 5 days, you're going to start to notice that the taste is going to become a little bit tangy. And what you then have here is this probiotic drink that is absolutely wonderful for digestion and mineral support. I am having a blank on, it's like Element or something. Is that the name of it? Or like all these other, you know, electrolyte and mineral rich drinks that you're buying that are not cheap. It's this, y'all, right? And this time of year, you're going to find your parsnips, or at least like I am, around $1, you know, $1.29 per pound. You cannot beat that, right? And again, like parsnips are also wonderful to eat and to drink. And you're really going to appreciate this as we enter into this time of year where we're just eating like heavier foods, right? It is perfect. This is perfect after a holiday meal. So if your stomach is ever like, oh man, what was that? After Thanksgiving, just a few ounces of this before or even after your meals is going to be lovely. Yeah, so if beet kvass just feels too intense, either for you or for your family, really give parsnip kvass a chance, right? It is a great, I like to say that there are certain recipes, kind of like the fermented mayo, that are like gateway ferments. This is a gateway ferment that you're going to love. Um, excuse me, it's still beneficial, but it's just much more approachable. So what we're going to go ahead and do, because this is a ferment, is we're just going to let this sit at room temperature until it starts to smell, that smell just like a little bit tangy and the flavor has shifted, right? So go ahead and make sure you have like that baseline smell. And that usually is going to take like anywhere between 3 to 5 days. And that range is there because it depends on like the temperature of your kitchen, the water that you're using. And then you're going to pop it in the fridge and drink it over the next 2 to 3 weeks. So yes, this is beet kvass, parsnip kvass. You're absolutely going to love it as a beet alternative. All right, friends, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and circle back to the chat to see if there were any questions that I did miss, because yes, there were. Okay, so for the fire cider, do you have to use jalapeno in the fire cider? Oh, no, you don't have to use jalapeno in the homemade fire cider. It's just for that extra like heat and circulation support. You can totally skip it. Or you can even swap in milder or hotter peppers, depending on, the kick that you want. Does the fire cider hurt your tummy? Oh, good question. I would say this. It can bother your tummy, especially if you are sensitive to vinegar or spicy ingredients. But many people will tolerate it just fine when taken in small amounts. And that's what you're doing here with fire cider, very small amounts. So we just use like the little shot glasses. It's that amount. It's never like more than that, spaced out perhaps over like, morning, maybe again in the afternoon, and again, after dinner, if you're starting to feel sick, but it's not a high dose. And if it is too fiery, just dilute it with water or take a smaller dose. Another question that we had was, if you make fire cider and forget about it, how long does it last? Oh, it's so forgiving. At least a year, right? And that is because it is vinegar based, right? So it will last a year or even longer, as long as it's in a cool, dark spot or kept in your fridge, right? That's where I keep mine. There's always at least like a jar to a fire cider there. Again, as long as there's no mold or funky smell or weird film. I've never seen that happen with my fire cider. When you open it, it's still good to go ahead and strain and use. And here's the thing, I don't even strain the items that are like in there half the time. I don't. Okay. All right. Okay. So we had another question do I have a question here for parsnip kvass? Maybe I didn't. Okay. That's okay. Oh, I'm showing you my next one. Okay, wait. So parsnip kvass, I do see one question here. What is it used for? So it is this time of year, like your body is craving ferments. And so it is a gut-loving probiotic drink that is supporting digestion, and it is nourishing your microbiome, right? And that's going to help the body to like gently detox. It's basically this bubbly, earthy, again, very mineral-rich tonic that people are sipping for like better digestion and energy and overall wellness. That's how I would put it. Yeah, excellent. Good question for sure. Okay, friends. So the last thing that I wanted to leave you off with, and there may be still a couple more questions, which is fine, is, where is it? So this time of year, sometimes when you're dealing with like different other like aches or pains, and I know that like you probably have a heating pad. I do, you may have an electric blanket that you're using, but sometimes if you need to be like mobile and you're moving around and maybe you've got some stiffness in your, your neck or, shoulders or just anywhere else on your body, something that I have really started to really like to make over the past couple of years. And this is something that my Nana used to do all of the time. But she would make a rice sock warmer. And I love these, right? Or, well, in my case, it's like a pantyhose warmer, which is what she would use them for if you had, stockings that, have a run in them. But and I like this because like the stretch of the pantyhose, people can also like use a sock. It's perfect to like just drape over your neck. or your shoulders. And what this is filled with, I'm not going to open it here because I do have a good like grip on it, but it's just filled with white rice. So I was able to get 3 pounds of white rice for $2.50. And do you know those little those patches that you can like stick on your body? I forget what you call them. It's not like icy hot or anything like that, but like, oh my goodness, those are expensive, and only 3 come in a box. Only 3 come in a box. And if you're dealing with like a muscle strain or soreness, or just from whatever, even just having like a sit down job, or you pulled something or whatever else, like it's just not affordable. But you know what really works, and I love this as a comfort, is a rice sock, because rice holds heat very, very well. It warms up quickly in the microwave. So normally I just pop this in the microwave for like 2.5 minutes, not even more than that, because then it's like super hot, and I'm waiting for the thing to cool down, right? So it's going to warm up very quickly in the microwave, and then it releases heat slowly and gently. It is exactly like a reusable homemade heating pad. And I like it that sometimes if I'm like really, strained, or like sitting and sometimes a little hunched, and I'm like sitting in that position like for too long, sometimes editing a video, right? But I can just put this around my neck, or like gardening, whatever else it is. Oh, you know what? Driving, long drive. So when I'm driving 95 from here to Florida, like just being in that position for a long period of time, like now, like I just grab this, I heat it up before I go. And it just helps to like release some of that tension. But this is just so nice. You can also use things like barley, flaxseed, cherry pits. Yeah, I've seen all these people use those. But I just like using rice because it is the cheapest, and it is very easy to find. And so you're just filling it, your sock, your pantyhose. You can get fancy if you have fabric. You can sew yourself, a little whatever size you want it to be, but about, a half to like 2/3 full with rice, and then just like tie a knot in it. Yeah, it just works wonderfully. Microwave it for, like I said, a minute and a half to start, and then always set the temperature, or always test the temperature on the inside of your wrist before using, especially if you're, maybe using this of like littles for any reason. But these are great, y'all. Let me know in the chat if you've tried these before, because I just love these. Again, it's great for neck and shoulders after a long day, for cramps, right? For your chest when you're just feeling congested, right? You can just like put it underneath of your clothes, or your feet. When you crawl into bed in winter, I'll just like put this at the bottom, right? It's so nice. Like right before I'm getting ready to go into bed, I just love it. And so, yeah, you can't beat it. I've also seen where people give these as gifts, if you can find like pretty little holiday socks and stuff like that. So I just had to go ahead and share that along. But okay, friends, tonight was a lot of cozy kitchen medicine. I'll take a few more questions in the chat, and we'll go through anything that you're wondering about: substitutions, kid-friendly twig storage, all of those things. But the best thing is that these are all old-fashioned food-based supports. They're meant to sit alongside, whatever you're currently doing, to help you, get through your aches, your pains, in an affordable way that has been proven for generations. So just to recap tonight we made the fermented honey garlic for sore throats and immune support. I think my husband snuck it. I didn't even hear him. Hey, babe. Babe? Okay, he might be in the restroom. But we also made onion cough syrup for chest and crud cough. We made the sage gargle for a sandpaper throat. We made golden milk paste for aches, inflammation, and sleep. Fire cider for that, I think I'm catching something kind of feeling. And then parsnip kvass for digestion and like just post-holiday reset. So if you really love this kind of cozy, practical, let's actually use what's in our kitchen, this is exactly the kind of thing that I do inside of the Dinner's Done dispatch. It's just more, it's more than, dinner. So not only are you going to find the meal sequences there, but we also have cook-alongs, teach-alongs, where it's live Zoom call. You're looking into my kitchen. I'm also looking into your kitchen, and we're learning together as a community. So we bash cook, we do the live sessions, and we just build out of our pantry so you're not panicking every day at 5 p.m. So I'll have that information posted if you're interested in checking out the Dinner's Done dispatch. And if you are loving tonight's energy, I just want to say thank you for sticking around with some of the tech. The tech was actually great. Thank you for my being here and for spending your evening with me instead of in the pharmacy aisle. So yeah, go ahead, grab yourself some water, make one of these remedies, tuck this knowledge in your back pocket for any time something starts feeling a little off with you. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to go ahead and check the questions again to see if there are any other ones. Okay. Let's see here. Do you strain out the sage before the gargle? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, because you're not, well, you could, right? You're not swallowing it. But yes, you can actually take here's what I will do. So, yeah, you can just like take one of these and like, strain it if you wanted to. But yeah, after you have like the warm water, the infused sage water, yeah, not the leaves themselves, or you could just spit into a trash can. Okay, how do you use the Parsnip Kvass? Yeah, so you're just gonna drink it like any other probiotic tonic, right? So speaking of that, I have here, like I said, on my lid. So I have a ginger bug here. She is almost ready. You know, it's ready when your ginger starts to float to the top. But again, there's so many different easy wellness remedies that are here. I have several jars of kombucha. Here's just one. You all are going to see this video soon. But yeah, these are just all of the tonics that I'm taking all of the time. And for the past couple of years, the worst that I've got is I might spike a fever, but then it's usually gone within like a couple of hours because I think of these remedies that I just stay on top of, y'all. It's amazing. There are some teachers that are sick all the time in my building. I get it, right? Like I'm in a school building, right? So there's always something going around. But I really do see that I have fortified my immune system by using these kind of remedies. Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. It's been an hour and a half. I think I scheduled this for an hour, but I'm so glad that you joined me here tonight, friends. I'll see you in my kitchen or garden soon. Take care, friends.